Hi guys, Dorothy here. Thanks for joining me again. Today, this week, I am going to talk about the astrology for the week of September 11th through September 17th. So stay with me, I'll be right back. All right, thanks for joining me today, guys. Now, it's not a majorly active week this week, so I'm going to give you the energies and how it feels, what everything sort of feels like. So Monday the 11th, we start the whole day with the void of course moon. It is in Taurus, so we are kind of focusing on what's important for us, what we value. That's that Taurus moon. But it's not making any of the Ptolemy aspects, so it's really considered void. It moves into Gemini at 3:29 p.m., and this is Eastern time zone, so adjust wherever you live. So when the moon does move into Gemini, we will feel emotionally connected to the things that we need to talk about. So in the morning, especially if you have Monday as your first day back to school or back to work or whatever you worked on the last time you were at work, just continue on that until we get to the energy of this moon in Gemini. That will kind of give us a little bit of extra oomph to communicate, to write, to connect with people, phone calls, emails, texting, lots of messaging going on once that moon gets into Gemini. So the day picks up some speed, but not until later in the afternoon, like I said. The moon will make a couple connections to Mercury and then to Mars later in the night, so that gives us even more energy. So we end the day a lot busier and more active than we started the day. On the 12th, this same energy continues because Mercury, the moon in the sign of Gemini, is just, again, wanting us to communicating through our emotions especially and how we feel. Venus and Saturn are in a nice, easy fire trine today, and so this is a great opportunity to really speak up for what it is that you want in your long-term relationship, or to take a relationship to another level that makes it feel kind of long-term, right? It gives us that feeling. All right, moving on to Wednesday the 13th. So the moon is in a waning square now with the sun. It creates that final quarter of the lunar cycle. And so it is at 20 degrees of Gemini. So wherever you have that in your chart, this is an area of completion and understanding. Not complete, but it's where we're just about finished. It's like when we're cooking food, right? When you're cooking food in the oven and all of a sudden you can smell it, you're baking something, and you know that, when I finally can smell it in my living room from the kitchen, I know that it's almost done, right? So you have to go check it. This is kind of what this type of a moon energy is like. When the moon squares the sun every single month, so that waning square is like that. But this is with the moon in Gemini and to the sun in Virgo. So we're looking, it's a mutable square. So just recognize what you might be completing, what you smell is almost done, so to speak, or what you recognize is almost done, and how you want to work with that. That's a great way to use this final square in this lunar cycle. All right, moon's into Cancer at 6:12, and then we're home. We want to feel like we have this caring, nurturing energy. That moon in its own sign really slows things down. It takes a little while, though, because the moon in Gemini can be rather excitable, right? Once it gets into its own sign. It takes a little time. It's like getting home. Here's another example. It's like getting home in the evening after your work, and it takes you a few minutes to unwind. Maybe you want to change your clothes, take a shower, depending on what your work is, and then just get all comfortable at home. And will take a little while. And this is how it always is when the moon finally gets into its own sign. So we have that going on for the day. And then the sun and Saturn are square throughout the day as well. And when I see these two square, this is again another mutable square. So we have this kind of this T-square thing going on throughout the day, right? And it's all mutable. So to me, what that creates is we can feel tension. And when we feel tension, all we need to do is make an adjustment. They're not difficult squares since it's all mutable energy. So that's what the 13th is pretty much like. Stay flexible, stay changeable. That's what mutable means. And if anything becomes difficulty, don't try to hang on. Just allow things to move. Moving on to the 14th with the moon in Cancer. It's not a big energy day, but it's a day where we're going to kind of feel like staying home. That moon in Cancer, we always feel like we want to stay home. So that's what we really get. It makes an easy aspect to Mercury and Mars and to Neptune, and is opposite Pluto. So to me, and this starts at midnight and ends at 11 p.m., so it's throughout the day. It's a very long day with the moon in Cancer. But to me, all we have to do is speak up for what it is we need. This is a great opportunity to care for yourself. What is it that you want? How do you want to care and nurture for? How are you going to get your needs met? You can do it for yourself, or you can ask. So there's many opportunities throughout the day. That is Thursday the 14th. Like I said, it's not like overly big news on these days, but that's fine. We've had some pretty active days over the last few weeks. So having a few things just kind of chilling for a little while, it's okay, because we're in that waning aspect of the lunar cycle. Friday the 15th of September, the moon's still in Cancer all the way until 9 p.m. So with the moon in Cancer, again, more of the same. We also have on the 15th Venus sextile Jupiter, which makes for a very easygoing day. Lots to value in that day. I find it's just a very creative day. So on Friday, if you're able to just have some time off, or just stay home and be creative, that is one of the better ways to use this energy. Once the moon moves into Leo, so this is the first time the moon's been in Leo since the eclipse of August 21st. So we'll talk about that in a minute, because I want to move on to, it doesn't get there until the 17th. So let's move on to September the 16th first. The biggest aspect that we have on September 16th is, of course, Mercury conjunct Mars. They're both in Virgo. When there's a conjunction, that means they're in the same place. And this could be for some, you could see some pretty decent debates with this, words back and forth, back and forth. We can also use that Virgo energy for our health and our healing in a personal way. You would want to do that. If you have any health concerns whatsoever and you need to take care of something in your life concerning your own health, a day like today is a great way and a great day to do some research. With Mercury in Virgo conjunct Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo wants to take action. Now, Virgo energy is thrilled to dig in and to find research. It's not as deep as Scorpio, but Scorpio and Virgo give each other a run for their money. So they both are very interested in that deep energy. We still have the moon in Leo, but it's not really making any significant aspects throughout the day on Saturday because it's in the early degrees of Leo, and we don't have too many planets in super early degrees at this point in time. Till the final day, Sunday the 17th, we have a grand trine in fire, and it includes the moon in Leo conjunct Venus in Leo, and then they go and make a trine to Uranus and to Saturn. And Venus is 1 degree away from the eclipse, so on the 17th and the 18th, Venus conjuncts the eclipse point. So look back to August 21st to see what was happening for you. Maybe something personal, maybe not. It varies. I didn't have anything personal go on for me, and no big revelations for me during the eclipse. It was pretty. I was working on stuff. Nothing major happened for me. It may have for you. It doesn't have to have, so don't feel left out if nothing happened, right? But this is the final transit of this time of year of that location, right? So Venus has come there, the moon conjuncts that, and the moon gets there at about, I think it's somewhere around 11 p.m., and this again, Eastern time, and of course it conjuncts Venus like 8:30 at night. And when we get the moon in Venus, in Leo together, this is like a great night. I know it's a Sunday night, but you could really have some fun with this night. If you don't have to work tomorrow, that is, because this is fun, this is passionate, this is enjoyable. There's a lot of fire when the moon and Venus comes together in a fire sign, especially trine Uranus and Saturn. It just creates a very dynamic night, and it helps us to recognize an emotional connection. Maybe now, a month later, we're going to get to see what the eclipse meant to you and me. And maybe we won't, but maybe we will, because this is a great fiery energy that can show us what we're really passionate about, what we love, what we're creative, how we're opening our hearts to what is important to us. That's one of the most important things with that eclipse, is where our heart is, how heart-centered are we, and in that love and the compassion for others and our fellow human beings, honestly. All right, so take that energy with love and compassion and fire, and have a lot of fun with it. That's that moon in Leo. It's going to come around every single month. I mean, that's always the way it is. But this is the last time that Venus is going to be at that point for a couple of years as well. So we won't have any more hits for a while. And I'll remind you once a month about it. But in the meantime, do what you love. Figure out what you're passionate about. Because if life isn't full of passion and fun and love, I know we have down moments too, but for the most part, we've got to be happy and joyous in our lives. And that's what this eclipse represents, and that's what this day on September 17th can do for us too. So, no evens. I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much. Please share, please like, please comment below if you have any questions. If you want to know where this is going on in your own chart, of course, I am a professional astrologer, and this is what I do. I teach and I do readings, and I share my info here for you guys. That's my contribution. So, thank you very much, and with love, blessings, and namaste.